now you can go.
This is John. Good to see you guys.
No, that's the end start like that.
Hello, everyone. It's us again. This is Marriage for Grown Folks. Today we will be discussing how behaviors that are not undone prior to marriage can affect you. We like to call it unlearned for short.
That's good. Where did you get that from?
You.
No, that was it. All right, let's start. So if you follow my Facebook page, we did a poll last week. And the poll question was, name 3 qualities you believe a man should bring to the relationship, and 3 qualities you believe a woman should bring to the relationship. So the comments went, mostly women interjected or added to the discussion for the men and for the women. I couldn't get the fellas. I had to reach out to some men personally and ask them, will you please say something on the men's post? But out of about, I don't know, it was a lot of categories. So what we did was, we old school, we tallied all of the qualities, all of the responses for the men and for the women, and compiled the top 3 qualities that you all said were the most important ones for men and the most important one for women. I'm going to read those qualities. You'll read the women's qualities and then the top 3 women's qualities. And I'll read the top 3 qualities that you all answered and said that were most important for a man. Then I'll tell you why, and then we'll talk about how this ties into unlearning. You ready? All right. So the ladies, all the ladies. I feel like putting my feet on you today.
Get comfortable.
Okay, not yet. So the ladies, top 3 things that women said women should bring to the relationship.
Women said men should bring to the relationship?
You know what I mean.
Okay. So what a woman is looking for from a man is safety and protection, emotional guidance, and sex.
Sex was top 3?
Out of the results, because it was so many different answers.
Okay.
People try to word stuff so many different ways when really it's just like, let's just cut to the chase.
One person said endurance. So I interpret that as he need to last long. He need to, like Keith Sweat said, make it last forever. So we put the endurance comment under sex. There was somebody else who said good loving. Just say sex. SEGGS. So I'm surprised that sex was top for the women. Really? What's it? Read them again.
Safety and protection, emotional guidance, and sex.
Really? Okay. Do you want to add anything? Do you think that's true? Do you think they were capping? Do you think that they were honest about that? Do you see that?
I think you're a pastor and they wanted to give like correct answers, if I'm just being honest.
What would you say?
Because on the street, if you have a conversation with someone who doesn't know that we
Money.
hold the title, they be like, I need him to provide for me.
The hammer.
I need him to look like this and be this height. I need him to not have no babies. Like normally they not even going.
Now it depends on what that woman's been through.
That's true. An older woman who's been through a
she don't care. What he looks telling down. Because if you ask a woman in her 50s, she's not going to say he's got to have a full head of hair.
This is true.
She's going to ask him what's your credit score? Do you own a home? Because she don't want to be renting for the rest of. She's thinking about end of life. So his stomach ain't got to be 6-pack. He ain't got to be 50 years old with 6-pack. So the age range of most of the people who engaged in this poll that I did on my page was probably 30 to 50. Okay. So we got some seed gray hair in there. But I didn't.
That third answer makes more sense too.
What for the men?
A woman's sex drive increases as she ages.
So you just read what the women said.
What the women wanted from a man.
Oh well.
Yeah. And then that's what the man wants.
Women said that this is what they think that women should bring. The one I'm getting ready to read. Men didn't say that.
This was the poll.
Oh, that's right. That's right. They think a woman. The fellas said that they think that a woman should bring to the relationship is sex. Peace and do right. Now I know y'all not gonna like do right, so I really should have, because I'm not trying to troll y'all when we wrote do right. But when I talk to the men that I work with, some of the men that I go to church with, some of the men at the gym, the phrase "do right" really came from cooperation.
Yeah.
A man, especially if he ain't sorry, if he's got a goal in mind, some goals in mind, he knows where he wants to go. When a man says "do right," when he's a leader, if he's a boss, he wants his woman. Number one, he wants sex from her. So men, sex. Yeah. He wants his woman to be compatible with him. He wants to have.
Can I challenge that statement though? We're going to take a sidebar for just one moment because this is something that just keeps coming up, right? We keep talking about compatibility, and I don't really believe that is a thing. Like we say it's a thing.
Well, what do we say, and what do you mean?
So most of the people that I hear say that they're incompatible with their mate. Normally, it just has to do with their want to. If we cut all of the fat off, they're really not attracted to the person that they married, but the person they married gives them stability. So it's like, okay, well, I couldn't have it all, so I'll take what I can get. If you're going to pay the bills, if you're going to take care of my kids that I'm bringing into the relationship, then I guess I got to sleep with you. But when you go into a relationship with that mindset, you're already setting yourself up for failure because then there's no room for true intimacy to occur.
You have violence to choose from and you have peace to choose from. You have violence. No, but I wholeheartedly agree. Yeah. I thought that you had a big old booty when I first saw you. When I first saw you, I said, "Oh my, she's got cheeks."
Oh my God.
So, you have been fine. Now, we don't have all the answers. I'm just telling you my testimony. This is true. You've been fine to me from the jump. Now, don't come on now. Now I have. I'm trying to see how much I can tell you. Okay, you've been fine to me, and you got more fine.
Ooh,
okay. Now, so sex. A man wants sexuality because I don't know any men that ain't bringing strong sexuality to they might need some education, and you might need to know where the difference between the vulva and the clitoris. Yeah. But he's coming strong. This is the men that engage in the poll. We got to finish. Peace. This is that what the men were saying is I don't want you bringing a whole bunch of chaos. When I come home, and women, y'all had your opportunity to say whatever. This is the man talking. When I come back from home, when I come from wherever I've been during the day, I want my woman to provide a place of peace for me. Nagging and a whole bunch of hell raising. I want your breast to be a place of safety and rest for me.
What does that do for you?
That makes me feel like, as a man, that I am wanted and that I'm received. Yeah. A man that is a provider, a man that is a protector, what he should get in return is reciprocation. We say it all the time that men don't interpret love as love, they interpret love as honor. Yeah. Or respect. And so if you ask a man, does your woman love you? If he feels like she respects him, and you have to ask him what respect means to him. But if you ask a man, does she love you? He's going to equate love to respect. So I translate that to peace. If a man says to me, she don't love me, what he's really saying is, I don't feel like she respects me. Yeah. So peace. And then number 3 is cooperation. We're going to swap do right for cooperation. Cooperation. If I have a plan, that doesn't mean that she doesn't have a voice. That doesn't mean that she doesn't have input. She is a huge component to what we do, how we do it. And so initially when we got me, this is going to tie us into unlearn. Yeah. Initially, I did not want your input because I was chauvinistic. I didn't want your input because the women that I have seen in my life and I have spent time with and who I have observed in church, out of church, on the street, wherever, my lens was y'all just trying to run it. Ooh. So I came into the relationship thinking that how you talk, how you move. Now, what I did not know is that she was rough around the edges, but in her heart, at the bottom of her heart, she just wanted to help. And if you watch any other episodes that we've done, she's explained what that was, why that was. And so when I came into the picture with her, I wanted her to cooperate. And so she needed to know, okay, what's your plan? Right. Before I cooperate, before I submit to whatever it is that you're talking about, let me know where we go. I just ain't giving you my submission 100% because I don't know if you quality or not. Now, I will say this about cooperation, and then we'll get into unlearn. I feel like I should do the MC Hammer dance with my jacket on now. Okay, go ahead. It's so cozy. I forgot what I was. MC Hammer threw me. Oh, this is what I was going to say. So I believe this, and I think you do as well, that submission, it has to be earned. Absolutely. And some of the frustration that I know from men that I'm around or who I have talked to is that to them, they have proven to the women that they're with that they are stand-up guy. They ain't got a whole bunch of hoes out here and they ain't running 2 and 3 women. And so they provide, they make sure the woman is laced, they make sure she's dazzled up, make sure she's bagged up. And so I have heard a lot of men complain about that they have proven their track record to their women, but that's a whole nother episode. But a man wants cooperation. Well, let's say he wants cooperation, he wants peace, and he wants sex. Yeah. Okay, now.
One more sidebar, guys. Then we're going to navigate into unlearn. Submission is not a cuss word. Oh, anyone who thinks that submission is offensive, please take the time to research the actual meaning of it and the scripture behind it, because it says submit one to another, meaning that we're going to submit to each other. But I don't want to be in charge of everything.
And I wouldn't have chose to be in charge.
So
it's like, a punishment for both.
This is true.
Now, unlearn. In marriage, we have, and you will, and you have learned this, and you already know if you've been married, there are some things that you came into the relationship knowing, believing, understanding. Yeah. That's going to have to be unlearned.
Absolutely.
And that is, we believe that the first 5 years of a relationship is called the storm stage. We need to redo that. Storm stage. Yeah. And so the storm stage determines what? Remember what it was?
Yeah. So when you go through the storm stage, what the storm is basically just seeing who's going to be in charge or who's going to have the most control. Now, let me just be really honest with you guys. So whoever loves the most in the relationship, and this is not gender oriented at all, literally just whoever loves the most in the relationship will normally give in more. So they will normally end up with less control because they're willing to bend for that mate because they love them so deeply. So look for that in your relationship. If you're wondering why it seems like one person is always getting their way and the other one not so much, it's probably because the person who's not getting their way that much loves more than the person that is getting their
way. Now let's just spill tea all over this thing. Let's just take tea and just shake it all over. Who loves who more in our relationship?
I'm the lover in the relationship.
And I'm ignorant.
Well, not necessarily. I have the gift of love, y'all. So right. I can love people just deeply. And they don't have to do anything to qualify for the love. I just love. And I've been like that my whole life. I will say that was one of our issues, though, early in marriage, because I operate in that gift, I just assumed everybody does. So I had to learn that it's literally a gift that God has given me to learn people love people very deeply. And it's assisted me in, my field of work because I work in the healthcare system. So I'm just a lover.
I got to put on love. I got to wake up in the morning and put it on. And then when I go to bed at night, I got to take it off. That'd be hard for me sometimes. But I got the gift. So I got to ask God to grace me every morning. I get up. You can just shake you in the morning and say, all right, it's time to love. I'm like, hey. Not me. I got to put it on. Okay. Now,
you were talking about
the most damage. Yeah. I'll say it like this. Marriage requires the individuals, the participants, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4, don't matter how many, whoever got married, listen, you are going to be required to change. Yeah. If my thought process that I came into the relationship with is injuring you, and I see that it's bringing you to tears and it's causing you of frustration and turmoil because I love you. Absolutely. The motive by which I investigate what needs to be unlearned, the motive is love. Yeah. If I do it because I don't want to hear your mouth, if I do it because you always got something to complain about, it's not going to last, and it's going to be done out of punishment. Right. You had something you want to add? You had that. I want to add something.
I just think that that's so true, because if you do it with the wrong motives, it won't be genuine. You won't have the strength or the wherewithal to make it last.
And can you feel?
That's what I was going to say. Your partner can feel that. Like, they can feel this like sarcasm behind what they're doing. Okay, well, you asked me to do. And I just want to be real honest. Women have this so bad. We like to be passive aggressive in a relationship instead of just like finding a way to communicate with our spouse and let them know where we are, and being vulnerable and vented enough to actually let them help you through it.
Now, let me say this. Let me choose violence for the men. Violence. When I came into the relationship, I had the idea that a man is supposed to do this. Right. Provide, protect, and provide loving. The woman was supposed to do what 3 things in your mindset when we got married?
Oh, I didn't have a guide map for what a woman was supposed to do inside of marriage, and I'm being just completely honest. So for me, the life skills that I was given growing up was completely about me being able to survive and sustain myself alone. It wasn't about like coming into a relationship. So for me, it was a whole new ball game.
So we were severely underdeveloped as humans. Severely undeveloped as...
I had life skills. I just didn't know how to be a wife. I knew how to be a bomb female. Knew how to cook, clean, do all those things.
Braid hair.
I didn't even, but you know what's so crazy?
What?
Like, all the life skills I had, I didn't even associate those things with a wife. Like, I never planned on being a wife, guys. Like, it wasn't on my to-do list. I never like fantasized or dreamed about a wedding or all the things. It just really was not on my radar.
So we weren't ready to get married. When we say marriages for grown folks, we were babies when we got married, and we had to grow into marriages for grown folks.
Yes.
So you had your set or the lack thereof of what you thought a wife should bring to the relationship, what a woman, femininity, that's your thing.
Yeah.
I had a set in my mind of qualities that a man, and it was my understanding based off of movies and TV and books and stuff that I didn't read, that if I do these 3 things, she's going to cooperate, and she's going to sing my praise, and we're just going to ride off into the sunset in a Cadillac on
He never gave me that script, guys. I didn't know.
I just assumed that you was reading the same script that I was reading when we were single, so we got together. Like, okay. So I believe that when you said I do, that you said I do to my script that was in my head. So only thing I got to do is get a job. Only thing I got to do is keep a fresh haircut. The only thing I got to do is make love, sweet love. And only thing I got to do is make sure that you protect if somebody try to jump you. And if I do those 3 things, and it did not go that way. So our first argument 16 years ago was because of this unlearning. I thought that what I thought I knew was solid, was cold-blooded. I'm ready to take on the world. I'm going to ride off with you. And you thought what you knew was, well, I'm prepared because I can cook, clean, I can do hair, I can balance a checkbook, I can drive in the rain, I can, all of your qualities of what you believe were quality. Absolutely. When you came in. So our first argument was, remember?
So our first argument, guys, was a clash of thought processes that we had not communicated to each other prior to. So I was raised to be very independent, just self-sufficient, as I've already said. And he grew up with the mindset of, I'm going to find a wife and create a family. So we were already on 2 different novels when we arrived in this relationship together, because the book that I was writing had nothing to do with joining myself to someone.
We did not do premarital counseling.
Yeah, we did it after though, y'all.
We did postmarital, but this stuff we talking about. We got in
counseling pretty quickly because we realized that we had some personal issues we needed to work through. So he says, hey, I think I had cooked dinner that day. And he goes, hey, I just wanted to sit down and talk to you. I'm going to pay like the mortgage. I'm going to pay.
It was rent at that time.
Yeah, I'm going to pay the rent. We were in our apartment. I'm going to pay the rent.
The rent
I'm
was
pay
$470. I had that $470.
I'm going to pay the rent. I'm going to pay utilities. I'm going to add you to my phone plan. I'm going to pay the phone bill. I'm going to take care of our car payments. Can you just buy groceries? Like, all I would like you to do is cover groceries.
I mean, that's simple, ain't it?
It is very simple. Let me give him some credit because it is very simple.
Go ahead.
But in that moment, all of the taught
independent
and learned behaviors from my upbringing stood up because I was taught to be independent
what they stand up
and self-sufficient and to think for myself and to have an opinion for what is going on. And nobody can tell you what to do and nobody should be able to run you. And when I say all of those thought processes at once was like, what? I said, you ain't my daddy. How you gonna tell me what to do with my money? And he was looking like, when I say there was a level of frustration, irritation, and rage that hit him all at the same time.
I went through, not even verbally.
Right. Because he's very mild mannered. I'm the one who can be like very dominant and talking and very expressive, which has to do with my upbringing. And he is like, wait, why are we fussing? Why are we arguing?
I went the back and forth.
I would say, I'm not arguing. I'm just telling you how I feel. But
then she started talking with her hands, and I was like, "Oh, now she thinks she wants to." I went through what I said in my heart to you about you. Oh, this ain't this. She can't. She ain't the one. Because these are the three basic things. I didn't have nothing else besides God. I didn't have nothing else to bring to the table. So if you're not gonna let me protect you, if you're not going to let me provide, if you're not going to roll with my program, my little bill program, if you're not going to cooperate, which is one of the top things that men still believe that their woman should bring to the relationship, if I'm bringing a plan, then you bring cooperation. I was like,
but this is what's so cool about that, right? Okay, so for him, protection was saying, hey, I'm gonna cover the bills, just get groceries and cook, because you know what you want from the grocery store anyway,
and I can't cook.
Yeah, and you know what you plan on cooking, and I'm gonna eat whatever you cook anyways, because I'm not picky like that. And for me, I never saw that as protection because it wasn't something that was downloaded prior to. So for me, the only thing I saw was, oh, you think because I said I do, you about to tell me what to do every day? Oh, that ain't it.
It broke my really, and honestly, my little heart was like, this ain't, I thought you were supposed to be my wife. my little heart was, and so that argument escalated. That argument escalated so to the point you ended up moving into Bishop's house for a bit. And I said, you got to get out. You remember sleeping at Bishop's house?
It wasn't then, though. That was a different argument.
Oh, well, it started with, you ain't going to tell me what to do.
I will say it was an argument that we never resolved. So it did kind of trickle into the other ones until it got to the point where we were like,
so she's out of, not the house, I keep saying house. She was out of the apartment. And I'm sitting at the house. Bishop was like, get over here. I'm sitting over like, I told my brother, I'm a good guy. Now, I was wrong in the two left shoes because, again, men, we have the tendency to think that if I just do what was not provided for me as a man, if I be better than the men who I thought that were in my life that should have been good, if I do better than them, then you should automatically respect it, honor it, cherish it, pat me on the back. And that's not always true, but you have to unlearn that. And so if my behavior, again, if my behavior is making you feel some type of way, because I love you, the motivation out of love should be, let me investigate what I'm doing, what I'm saying, how I'm coming at you, because I don't want you to feel any other way around me besides safe, honored, cute, feminine, and ready to be rubbed on. That's all I want you to feel.
And you know what was so cool, though, about that moment? So we got into it. I left the house. I went to Bishop's. I stayed there overnight. And the next morning, After like his kids had gone off to school and all the things, he was like, we're going to take you to breakfast. So him and a couple of the mothers from the church took me to breakfast, and we're sitting down at the table. Now, remember, I don't have a script for being a wife. I have a script for being an independent woman, doing life on my own. And when I say the intelligence of the Holy Spirit through them was just on par, they began to talk to me in a way of expressing their own stories and different places they had been, but it also began to illuminate me on what I actually signed up for. Because, guys, I was unclear, okay? So, what I'm thankful for the most in the early days of our marriage is how strong our community was. Because without the wisdom of those women, without the male voice of Bishop articulating how he felt, because I'm thinking I'm protecting myself in that area. And he's saying, but I'm here now. Let me protect you. But I didn't see it like that. So because I didn't see it like that, because I didn't have the background to even think of it that way, it took another man sharing wisdom on the matter for me to be like, oh my God, I didn't mean to hurt him. Like, that wasn't my intent. Like, so it gave me a different view, and it gave me a new track to run on. Like, oh, wait, you're not single and doing life by yourself anymore. You have joined yourself to someone, and this is part of joining yourself with someone. So the scripture that talks about how two become one is such a mystery. All of a sudden, that scripture had great meaning to me, because I was just like, okay, well, how am I supposed to do this then? Which sent me on a journey. So thankfully, I like to learn new things.
And because you loved me, once you found out that I interpreted your response as disrespect or dis whatever, you said, no, that's not what I'm saying. I love him. So we were able, and the men took me in the back. They got me together too, and really showed me that. And they would always say to me, Brittany loves you. Brittany, and I'm like, she don't love me. Y'all don't see what she's doing at the house, man. But another perspective was saying, she loves you. You just can't see it. So unlearning in your relationship is imperative. You will have to learn a new way. Even if you think, even if the person who was with you, that you were with before, your person who you with is now showered it and praised it, and only thing you got to do is work hard and come bring home love, and I'll do the rest. The new person, or the person that you dated, they might have given you praise and accolade for your little three, but the person that you're with now may require you to do it a different way. And if you are stuck, if you stick your mindset in the box of this is the only, and so what I had to do is I had to humble myself. You had to humble yourself and say, I don't know it all. And I need somebody to teach me a different way, but you must be willing to change it for the sake of love. It must be investigated and considered because I love you.
And honestly, like, love is a driving factor, but you should just want to be a better person. Like, for me, I just don't want to go around injuring people. So if something is brought to my attention that has caused somebody pain, I'm like, oh, wait, let me look internally and see what's going on for me to even be responding in a way that is being received that way by somebody else. I just don't like that.
Whew, this was good. But we got one thing to say before we leave, and that's marriage is for
grown folks.
We'll see y'all next time.
Bye.